All right, well, David Wu is the global head of foreign exchange strategy at Barclays Capital to talk more about the currency markets. And David, we saw the BOJ pump that money into the system. Australia, taking their rates up. So there's two divergent moves going on here. So what is exactly, how are we to read this?
Well, actually, they're not that different, at least relative to expectation, because I think, the RBA, even though they did hike rates this morning, it was more or less in line with expectation. But more importantly, their statement was more dovish than I think the market had been expecting, suggesting that, that after the last three rate tightening, that this is not going to be a straight line going up from here. So I think from that point of view, the market's starting to think that they may very well pause at the next meeting, or if not, the meeting after that. So that, I think, this is why Aussie did not strengthen as much as you would have expected given the rate tightening. I think Japan is a very, very different story, because if you remember, immediately after the announcement this morning from the Bank of Japan, the yen actually, believe it or not, strengthened a bit, because the market was a bit disappointed that they did not announce currency intervention and something more dramatic than that.
Yeah.
And I think the bottom line is, I think upon second thought, I think markets realize that, that the Bank of Japan essentially has done the right thing to the extent that, this year, the reason why the yen has strengthened is because that they haven't been as aggressive on loosening monetary policy as the U.S.
And they're trying to be more aggressive on that. But is it, the question, of course, David, is it enough to slow or reverse this yen move?
Yeah, I certainly think it will, but I think the more important point is that they're now saying that, we care about the yen, we're going to do whatever it takes to prevent the yen from strengthening. So right now, the market has to worry about is not that, have they done enough, but rather how much more are they willing to do to stop the yen from strengthening. And we think that, the message today is that they're willing to go very far.
There's all these events that they can't help, such as Dubai, which are these quote-unquote tail risks that happen that drive everybody into the safety of the yen.
Yeah. I think that's true to an extent. I wouldn't say that the strengthening of the yen this past 2 weeks had, only to do with Dubai. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that we've had a massive rally in U.S. Treasuries. Think about it. 2-year Treasury yields now just yielding 66 basis points. 10-year Treasuries now trading below 3.25. Dollar yen has always been the most interest rate sensitive process of all currencies. This is why the yen rally against the dollar this past 2 weeks is mainly a reflection of dollar weakness in the rally in the U.S. Treasuries.
Okay. All right, David. Well, we're running out of time, but good to talk.